reality of that community. What do you got? You're not going to have anything until this changes. So now we have this tax rebate plan. So the governor and certain people want to actually hand out checks for tax rebate. Doesn't everybody want their taxes lowered? Wouldn't you like a check just before Election Day from a legislator? How convenient. Well, let's just take a look at the districts that shall go nameless. Look at the size of their gap elimination adjustment, and here's their wealth. The lowest one is about 1.9, so I picked between 2 and 4. See that? They all fall between 2 and 4. They can't find anybody on free and reduced lunch practically. The impact on their budget is about 1% or 0.5%. The impact on their levy is about 1% or about 0.5%. The amount of tax rebate they would get back would be at 1.46% they're talking about, would be $577,000. The GEA is $233. That means the taxpayers would receive a check for $577. The district would still lose $233. Net gain to the community members, $344,000. Everybody following along? Yes? So this is the value of it. So look at them all. They're all in the positive. In other words, look at this guy here, GEA 924. Tax rebate, $1.4 million. The community be ahead basically by $490. Here's you. You see any difference in the numbers? This is called reverse Robin Hood. So what we're going to do is we're going to give you money, but it's based on your levy. So I just got through telling you can't raise much for your levy, so you're not going to get much money. So let me back it up a little bit here. Look at this. Look at this. Look at what they're getting for the rebate. Hello? And look at what you're getting for the rebate. Look what you'll still be saddled with. Look what they'll be going out to dinner with. Does everybody see how? Who thought of this? Is it so important to give a tax rebate that you would sell your children? And these people can absorb this in the blink of an eye. You're suffering. They're going to walk away with money, and you're still going to be broke. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. And he's running commercials to talk people into doing this. If it works that we end up doing this, I got to start a business where, we do this. I mean, this is great. Are you kidding me? What? Unacceptable. So here's what we suggest. Let me summarize. We need something that's equitable, sufficient, and timely. And the reason is Gracie knows what equitable is and sufficiency, and it's got to be done now. We got to get rid of that GEA right now. This distribution has got to stop. And these non-essential programs, look great. I like to do new things. I think we all like to help kids more. But if we can't sustain what we got, what good is more? What good is more? Then there's this piece. Did you know that different parts of the state have gotten the same share of state aid no matter how big it has been? It has never changed. It's like a big myth. And then here's the part that kills me is when legislators hand out bullet aid, if you got bullet aid, they call it member item money. So they say, I'll give your school district $20,000. And we want to be grateful because they did give us money and they worked hard for it. We understand all that. But the point is, the GEA says we're owed $1 million. What good is the 20 grand? I mean, where's the $1 million? Isn't that really what you owe me? Gracie, I just gave her $7.25. Should she appear ungrateful to get the extra 25 cents, even though I owe her $10? She wants the $10. It's not too much to ask. How about this? How about we look at foundation aid and we find a way to fund it? You guys are out almost about $100 million on this thing. If they want school mergers in regional high schools, they're going to have to do a better job of funding those too. Sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. There's reasons. Kindergarten and pre-K programs, neither one of them are required. Why are they starting to refund this and not fund that? And then what's the cost drivers? Could they do something about our mandates, as Bob pointed out earlier in the introduction? And could somebody please light a fire under the Board of Regents and they know that we're schools out here? The truth of it is we've been neglected too long. This has got to change. My suggestion is we do APPR for legislators. Now, this is not to say that they are not well-meaning people or they don't want to do the right thing. I think they do. I think that's why they're in office. I think they do want to help. So we got to guide them and provide constructive feedback, just like we would to any educator when the lesson isn't going well. So the idea here is, I'd say, is give them constructive feedback and meet with them regularly and meet with the media and so on, like we have tonight, and make your opinions known and make your demands known. These are your children, your schools, and your tax dollars. Remember, the kid who doesn't get educated today could end up being your neighbor tomorrow. And this is no joke. We are better off with an educated society than anything else. So what I'm telling you is we're running out of time. We've got to get busy. The new Education Reform Commission was a farce. So you've got till March 17th to influence legislation on the enacted budget. They're going to come up with these preliminary budget documents next week by, we'll say, March 12th. And then in a week or two, this thing's all going to be a done deal. So you've got to get going fast. You've got to start communicating with state government, your school district budget, attend meetings, find out what's going on, find out how what your school district is telling you interfaces with what I've just told you. They're not lying. We're getting rifled here. No pun intended. You're not until May 20th as a school district budget, you're going to be voting on this thing. These things are very important. So the question to me is, what's the plan? The Board of Education, I think, is involved. I think staff and unions are involved. But booster clubs have to be involved and communicate. Parent-teacher organizations. What about your school auditor and your school attorney? Contact the Board of Regents. District superintendent, obviously, here is actively involved. He's a sponsor. Where's the Chamber of Commerce? Where are the other groups? The Rotary, the Lions, the American Legion, the VFW. Are they helping out? Where's the Workforce Investment Board helping out? How about local governments, towns and villages writing letters on your behalf? What about the media? Making sure you talk with the media. What about meeting with legislators? They're home every Friday usually. They have open appointments. They would like to meet with you. They're not bad people. You have to guide them, though. You have to tell them what you want. You have to expect results. Now, there are some legislators who have actually come up with some legislation to do some of the things I've talked about tonight. But remember, life's funny. It doesn't really matter how hard you try sometimes. It just matters whether you achieve the goal or not. Because the goal is so important here. We can't miss the goal. I don't want anybody to say, listen, I tried to get more money for your schools because you were owed the money, but I just couldn't, so you lose out. That's not going to be acceptable. We've got to win this battle. So you've got to attend public meetings and so on. I want to thank you for your kind attention. I hope you've learned something. And we'll only take another 3 hours for the assessment at the end of this program. Just kidding. Thank you. Yeah.
Thanks, Rick. Interesting as always. Before I introduce our next speaker, I'd like to acknowledge Assemblywoman Claudia Tenney, who joined us just after we got started. We know it was a long session in Albany today, so we really appreciate her making the time to be here with us. There was a good article in the Evening Telegram today, if you had a chance to read it, dealing with many of the issues that we talked about earlier today. And one of the people interviewed for that article is our next speaker. And I'm very